We begin in West Africa, where an unknown number of persons have been trapped in a five-story building which collapsed while under construction in the commercial city of Onitsha, Anambra State. It was gathered that the building, meant to serve commercial purposes on completion, collapsed in the early hours of Sunday while some of the construction workers were on the last floor. An excavator has quickly been moved to the site to begin the evacuation of rubble and rescue operations of any trapped victims. The reason for the collapse has not yet been ascertained. The Daundi electricity transmission station, located in Kano Municipal, has been engulfed in flames, sparking concerns and disruption in power distribution across the region. Owned by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, the Daundi station serves as a crucial hub for transmitting high-tension electricity to numerous substations throughout the metropolis. Now, the cause of the devastating fire remains unknown, leaving authorities and residents alike grappling with uncertainty and potential disruptions to power supply. Stay tuned to News Central TV as we bring you further updates on this developing story. Women in Nigeria's federal capital have taken to the streets of the capital to protest against the increasing cases of child molestation. They're calling on parents and government to do more in protecting their children from pedophiles as cases of child molestation continue to be recorded in Nigeria. Amadin Uyi reports.
Happiness Annie is the founder of a group of women and children advocacy group, also known as Abuja Moms. For Happiness, her past experience has led her to champion a cause against child molestation. One she recounts saw the details from her past.
I was molested myself at age 10 by my auntie's husband, and I'd never started healing until 2019 when I spoke about it for the first time. My auntie didn't do anything. And then when I went home and told my mom, they asked my mom not to seek justice for me so that people do not call me someone who is not a virgin at age 10.
For Happiness and many other women in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, their annual work against child molestation is personal, as this year's work marks the 6th in their bid to raise awareness against the crime.
Today's work is against child molestation. The platform Abuja Moms, we do this annually to create awareness and to make parents know that it's okay to seek justice for their children who've been molested.
Many of the women say child molestation, which has become more rampant in Nigeria, is now becoming a source of worry in the country.
It's a very, very big problem that we have in Nigeria, where children are molested, both the male and the female child.
It's a very deep menace that has eaten up our society, families, communities. It's very deep. And the worst part is that no matter how much we try to talk about it, this thing still happens in a lot of homes, especially by guardians.
They are calling on parents and government to do more in protecting children from the hands of pedophiles.
Every child deserves protection, you know, and if any victim who comes to any platform, whether government or to an individual, you should be able to listen to that child.
My message to all Nigerians today, women, men, children out there, see something, say no to child molestation, say no to abuse, shatter the silence, speak out if you have to.
We are asking that when people see such things or hear such things, they should report.
These women are hoping that those in authority will step up and bring justice to the victims of child molestation. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
Thank you, Amadin Uyi, for that report. Now, childbirth can result in physical and mental health challenges impacting productivity. Motherhood involves a delicate balance of caregiving responsibilities, potentially affecting career opportunities and economic contributions. As we celebrate Mother's Day today, we shed light on the high maternal mortality rates, particularly prevalent in women residing in rural areas and among poorer communities. Now, this signals inadequate healthcare, influencing overall well-being. Addressing these issues is crucial for promoting women's health and empowering them in society. News Central's Dr. Kelechi Okoro has details. Childbirth and motherhood significantly impact women's health and productivity. The physical and emotional toll of childbirth, coupled with the myriad of responsibilities of motherhood, can influence a woman's time and energy, thereby affecting productivity and career opportunities.
Being a mother in this society, Nigeria, though it has been easy not to say the other side, but that's why you see some people limiting, they will have just a kid or 2 children, because to raise them, even the caring within the society from the hospital stage, it has been somehow.
So weighing in on the topic of discussion, which is what
experts speak on the multifaceted aspects of maternal health, childbirth, and the challenges faced by mothers and how these impact their long-term health and productivity.
So one that has not had a very good antenatal experience may have complications like bleeding, infections, difficult deliveries, hypertensive crisis even during delivery. Also, the immediate postpartum period, which is like immediately after they deliver and a couple of weeks after, is also very critical. These are times that women can be at risk of bleeding, infections, and even the mental health challenges that comes with having a child. So we should not be carried away by seeing a healthy mother and a child immediately. We still need to keep an eye on them immediately after delivery.
Society's support and policies addressing these challenges are crucial for promoting women's health and sustaining their productivity, as women are asking for more support from the government and society at large.
We have a lot of women empowering program and foundation, and we also have women in power in political offices, etc. And the so-called gender stereotype that has to do with opposing women, what they're capable of doing, is reducing. So women are being given more opportunities. So the government can still do more.
Free antenatal care, free delivery. Because in the antenatal, that's where we tell women ways to prevent maybe disease, blood flow after birth. Maternal mortality is high rates.
As we strive to achieve Sustainable Development Goal 3, which is good health and well-being, targeting a reduction in global maternal mortality rates, the World Health Organization collaborates with partners to address inequalities in access to quality reproductive, maternal, and newborn healthcare services. Also, achieving the SDG 5, gender equality, is not only a fundamental human right, but also a key factor in promoting maternal health. Now, still talking health, the federal government has placed a ban on leave of absence for health professionals relocating abroad. The Minister of State for Health, Tunji Alausa, said that health workers going abroad to seek greener pastures must henceforth resign their appointment before embarking on such journeys. The minister, who spoke during his visit to the Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Aro, said the directive was contained in an executive order issued by President Bola Tinubu. The minister also disclosed that the federal government had commenced aggressive recruitment of workers in the health sector. According to him, the annual enrollment of nurses, which used to be about 28,000, had been increased to 68,000, adding that by the end of the year, it would have gone up to 120,000. Now, joining us on the news is Dr. Abdulgafar Kolade, President of the Association of Resident Doctor Neuropsychiatry Hospital, Aro, Abeokuta. Hello, Doctor. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
All right. So can you share your thoughts on the recent federal government's ban on leave of absence for health professionals relocating abroad, and what impact do you foresee it, causing on the healthcare sector?
Okay, once again, thank you very much for having me. The pronouncement of the Honorable Minister about the ban of leave of absence by medical professionals. I think it is still a new development, And we don't know yet until when we have a document that is backing it up. It's very wise to be gathered in one's comments about that. So usually when there is a policy of government, there will be a document that will back it up. So I think it's an ongoing thing, and then we have to wait until the federal government releases a document to back that up.
All right, so Doctor, now what about the Doctors Association? How do you think that they can actually work collaboratively with government to ensure that the aggressive recruitment of health workers translates into improved healthcare infrastructure and also funding or even welfare packages for the benefit of the entire workforce?
Thank you very much. Like we all know, there is a manpower shortage in the health sector generally. So I think the government is working on increasing personnel in the healthcare workforce generally. So I think that will go a long way to help some of these challenges. And as well, so the infrastructure that should be available should actually also capture, to focus on what will benefit the patients. And of course, it will go a long way to hone the skills of professionals, and they also have the job satisfaction when they work with tools that they need to work with. And so that is very important. And as well, the welfare of doctors is very, very key. And so there has to be welfare packages that would make sure that the environment is enabling for them, and then they're able to stay back, to give back to the society, and then carry out their primary responsibility of taking care of patients. So for doctors in training, we know that there is what we call the MRTF, the Medical Residency Training Fund. And so it should be very good for some of these packages that are welfare packages for training to come very early here. And then so the process by which they are being processed and also will make it simpler and easier. So this will be very long to also improve workability in the healthcare sector for doctors particularly.
Okay, now in light of the brain drain challenge or jackpot syndrome challenge, how can medical association engage government in order to find balance between retaining skilled health professionals and also respecting individual career choices to work abroad? Because as it is, it doesn't even seem like the government is interested in healthcare workers, traveling abroad to work at all.
Yeah, so once again, thank you. I think that there has been engagement and have been forum through which the association interacts with governments at the level of the hospitals as well at the level of the federal government. So this engagement will continue definitely, and I think that has been continuing. But additionally, I think that, like I said previously, the environment has to be made more suitable for professionals to work with, so that the pull factors, they are more than the push factors. So, factors that actually make people to want to stay back in the country to give back to the society. So the job environment has to be very nice. The allowances has to also be very good, and they can actually improve on some of this. So I think that if there is improvement on this, because the emphasis should actually be on retaining the workforce, so you can actually employ as much as possible, but you need to find a mechanism by which you can retain the ones that are moving into the system. So once the work environment is very suitable and very good, people will have less reasons to want to travel out for whatever reason, be it for better pay, be it for education. So if all of these factors are taken care of, I think we'll be good.
All right, now still talking about factors that should be taken care of. Now, considering the concerns about funding and infrastructural development, what specific initiatives can you recommend to enhance the quality of healthcare delivery in Nigeria?
Well, so I think it borders on training of personnel and retaining the workforce, and then providing infrastructure for which you can work with. So many people want to leave the country because they do not have the enabling equipment to work with. So I think if the government can actually improve on getting this equipment available, so people would then be more happy to stay. And then, so that's talking about infrastructure.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for joining me and speaking on this issue.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now let's move to politics, where the National Civil Society Council of Nigeria has called on government to reappoint a minister for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation so that the ministry can resume the coordination of humanitarian interventions to citizens. Now, the council, which raised an alarm over the hardship being faced by citizens, says that if government has no intention of reappointing the suspended minister, it should focus on appointing a young, vibrant and energetic person capable of coordinating the delivery of aid to citizens.
The Civil Society Council sees the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation as most critical and highly relevant to our national development, especially at this time of nationwide distress and hardship that demand sustained government intervention programs. Hence, our passionate appeal for the strengthening and revigorations of the ministry and need for a young and capable minister with performance record, as was observed in Dr. Betta Edu before the unfortunate development.
Nigeria's National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies has called for more support for the nation's local government administration, saying they have the capacity to directly impact on the lives of citizens at the grassroots. Now, this was made known by the Director General of the Institute during a capacity building training organized for councillors, clerks, and senior staff of local government councils from Kaduna State to boost their performance.
The end of a two-day capacity building training aims at helping to improve the competence of local government officials in Kaduna State. The training aims to build their capacity and equip them with relevant skills needed to discharge their responsibilities and to deliver the dividends of democracy to citizens at the grassroots.
This capacity building training is important because it is tailored to meet specific needs of the local government administration, particularly those skills and knowledge that will enable you to support the work of an autonomous local government in Kaduna State. The executive could decide to embark on certain constraints, deny local governments their revenue, but such denial will not last forever. We believe in the local government.
Participants present were tasked to put the skills and knowledge acquired into effective use to improve the functions of Nigeria's third tier of government.
I believe you have experienced the expertise and professionalism of our resource person during the course of the training workshop. As you return back to your various places of assignment, I want to implore you to put into effective use the knowledge, skills, and experience.
What we discussed today and yesterday for this special training has indicated clearly that Nigeria is growing democratically, despite the challenges we are facing as a nation. But with the caliber of people that are gathered here, I'm confident most of these problems will sooner be addressed.
While the local government remains the closest tie of governments capable of directly impacting on the lives of citizens at the grassroots, Nigeria's National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies says there is a need for continuous training for officials to enhance their effective performance. In Abuja for New Central, I am Idonk Joseph.
The presidency has vehemently refuted allegations of budget padding for the 2024 fiscal year, dismissing claims made by Senator Abdul Ningi of Bauchi Central as unfounded. Senator Ningi, representing the Northern Senators Forum, accused the executive branch led by President Bola Tinubu of implementing a budget that exceeded the approved amount by an additional 3 trillion naira. However, the presidency, through a statement issued by President Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, countered Ningi's claims. The statement clarified that President Tinubu initially presented a budget of 27.5 trillion naira to the National Assembly on November 29, 2023, which included allocations for recurrent expenditure, debt service, and capital expenditure. Furthermore, the presidency clarified that the budget signed into law by President Tinubu on January 1, 2024, amounted to 28.7 trillion naira. The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, has expressed support for a change from the presidential system of governance to a homegrown parliamentary system being championed by 60 lawmakers of the House of Representatives. Now, this was as the royal father received a delegation of lawmakers led by the House of Representatives minority leader on an ongoing nationwide consultation for the adoption of the proposed new system of governance. Our correspondent Idong Joseph reports.
The proposal seeking a transition from the current presidential system of governance to a parliamentary system was co-sponsored by 60 lawmakers of the House of Representatives. Lawmakers proposing this change highlighted several benefits, including the need to reduce the cost of governance, a more robust policy direction which will impact the lives of citizens, and also make government more competitive and accountable to Nigerians. To get the buy-in of critical stakeholders, the lawmakers proposing this change have commenced consultations with critical stakeholders.
What we are routing for is a homegrown system of government that will put into consideration our peculiarities, our diversities, the issues of corruption, issues of government execution, of policies and all that.
Together with you and all leaders, and in fact all Nigerians, to start the action immediately, because we believe something needs to be done to arrest the current situation we are in Nigeria as of today.
Speaking to a delegation of parliamentarians who visited the Oni of Ife seeking his buy-in, the Oni of Ife commended the idea and said that there is a need to create a healthy competition among the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. He says this will effectively harness the huge natural resources Nigeria has been blessed with.
What they even have in the north, the Arab nations don't have it. So everybody will survive. And Abuja will be the center rallying point.
Also, the chairman of the Arewa Consultative Forum pledged the forum's support and said that considering the myriad of challenges facing the country, Nigeria must consider better governance alternatives.
You don't have to call it parliamentary system. You don't have to call it presidential system. There should be actually some form of Nigerian system, African, that takes all our values and visions and views and aspirations that is going to work for us.
At the end of the consultation, both parties urged lawmakers to embark on mass sensitization of citizens and leaders to see the need for a change of the style of governance. They were also urged to consult with past leaders of the country. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
Now to security matters. A joint task force comprising personnel from various security agencies has dealt a heavy blow to the activities of the indigenous people of Biafra from the front lines of security operations in Imo State. In a statement issued earlier on Sunday, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, revealed that the recent operation faced significant challenge as the fighters had cleverly concealed their hideouts amid dense foliage, rendering them nearly invisible to aerial surveillance. General Buba highlighted the meticulous planning of the insurgents who had dug ditches and planted improvised explosive devices to impede the progress of the security forces. He noted that despite these obstacles, The Joint Task Force pressed on with determination, neutralizing 20 IPOB fighters and recovered a substantial quantity of weapons and ammunition from their possession. The Arewa Consultative Forum in northern Nigeria has claimed that Thursday's abduction of 287 students of Kuria community in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State appears to have been planned by the bandits. Bandits had stormed LEA Primary and Secondary Government School and took away the students. Days after the abduction, the ACF said the incident was a discomforting reality given the enormous public resources allocated to the security sector. Meanwhile, undisclosed number of students from a school in Tsangaya, Gidan Bakuso in Gada local government area of Sokoto State were also abducted. Now joining us on the news is Sunday Adams, Public Affairs Analyst from Jos. Hello, Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Yeah, thank you too. Good evening for having me.
All right, now looking at the history of similar abductions, one would actually think that after the Chibok and Birni Yauri girls incidents years ago, lessons would have been learned and stringent measures put in place to protect schools from bandits, attacks, and also mass abductions. Why do you think that our security operatives were ineffective in preventing or even halting the abduction of the 287 students?
Okay, first of all, the security situation in the country is becoming alarming. And you must understand that the security agencies are not magicians. Now, looking at the number of security men we have on ground, in commensurate with what we have at the various local governments, you discover that the security personnel are overwhelmed. Now, in that particular Chikum local government that we're talking about, where these school children were adopted, what's the number of security personnel attached to the local government? You have a particular local government and probably maybe you have just one police station with how many policemen manning that place, and also looking at the security men. In fact, from statistics in Nigeria, I think you have one policeman to 1,500 individual or more than. And looking at also from the angle of the security, especially the military, you also discover the same thing. Now, there are some lapses in the area of not just only the security agencies, but even the government itself. When the issue happened in Chibok and the other areas, we expected the security agencies to have learned their lesson by providing what we call intelligence gathering. But unfortunately, that is what is lacking. And because some of these things are lacking, and because of some of the challenges they are facing in the scene of these crimes, it makes it very, very difficult for them to curtail these attacks. Like particularly in this in Kaduna, in the Kaduna school adoption, from information gathered, yes, it was actually planned. But the question is, did they make use of the intelligence gathering? Were they able to use it? That is one of the challenge. And you could discover that anytime this thing happen, you see the people at the Home of Affairs keep saying, yes, we're on top of the situation, we'll do this, we'll ensure that the adopters are brought back, except if the parents of those children that were adopted pay ransom. But in this situation, the number is huge. From Kaduna, you head down to Sokoto. So it's a major problem. It's a major problem. And if the federal government does not handle this matter holistically, you discover that it will be very difficult, to tackle this security challenge.
Talking about handling it, the federal government handling this problem, holistically, let's take a look at the overview of how they have actually handled it so far. Now, in your expert's opinion, how effective are the strategies implemented at the national level to address the systemic issues that have allowed banditry to persist in the region, especially in the northern region?
Okay, let me take you back. Take, for instance, in Borno State, the governor have been able to, get across to these bandits, get them to surrender their arms, and, treated them like an amnesty. and also they collaborated with the military there. And you could see that for Maiduguri, the thing has reduced to a drastic level. Now, coming back to the area of the federal government, yes, a lot of money has been budgeted for security. But like I said, intelligence gathering is key, and they need manpower personnel. Look at the local governments. Look at the number of security men. They are overwhelmed. So if you don't get the required number of security intelligent men mining these local governments, these particular areas, it will be difficult. Yes, the federal government has done a lot. They've budgeted, they've sourced for equipment, they are also recruiting personnel, but it goes beyond that. Now, there will be this call for state police, Power Rangers, and other security agencies. We need such so that it will be able to help in curtailing these issues. But because if we don't do that, the military cannot do it alone. What's the strength of our Nigerian military? So the federal government must live up to its billing, by going outside the box, using intelligence gathering, also ensuring that we recruit more personnel to handle this situation. If not, I don't know where we're heading to.
Now, looking at the local government areas where where the abductions actually happened, they're said to be border towns, bordering other countries like Cameroon. Now, what role do you think that neighboring countries can play in supporting Nigeria's efforts to combat banditry and also ensure the safety of its citizens?
Okay, that is where we need what we call the border collaboration between the Nigerian government and other foreign nations like Cameroon, Chad, Niger Republic, and others. So there's need for border patrol from the part of Nigerians. The situation in our borders. Now the federal government, needs to step up more by having a collaborative effort with the government of these countries. But also you understand that even the countries themselves, they're also facing their challenges. Because Cameroon, they have their succession challenge. Niger Republic, they are unstable in terms of the military charge like that. But nevertheless, there must be collaboration between the Nigerian government and the government of those countries, especially in the area of border patrol. And they must take it serious. Now, if you look at it, if you take an assessment, you discover that these borders are very porous. These borders, and the land mass is large. So there must be an effective border patrol to checkmate, these activities. And also, there must be intelligent gathering. But like I said, if the number of personnel that are mining these places are not much, it will be difficult for this issue of insecurity to be tackled.
All right, well, thank you so much, Sunday Adams, Public Affairs Analyst, for your expert view on this.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving away from that, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has officially announced the sighting of the lunar month of Ramadan, marking the imminent start of the Islamic fasting period. The announcement, made via the kingdom's official X platform, confirmed the sighting of the crescent moon, signifying the commencement of Ramadan on March 11, 2024. This declaration comes as Nigerians eagerly anticipate the proclamation of the Sultan regarding the beginning of Ramadan in Nigeria. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs had previously identified March 11th and March 12th, 2024 as potential start dates for the annual Ramadan fast, pending the sighting of the moon after sunset on Sunday, March 10th. Thank you for staying with us. Now away from Nigeria, the South African president and president of the ruling African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, has met with his supporters in church in Ekurhuleni. Now, South Africa will hold a legislative election on May 29 amid high unemployment and widespread disillusionment with the ANC, which has been in power since 1994. Many gave their thoughts on Ramaphosa.
I hope the ANC must win, because if the ANC they can't win, all the parties, they can't give us the grant or nothing. You see, the people, they're going to suffer a lot.
Are you worried that...
I was excited to take a picture with the president. It was nice. I was excited, so excited to see the president in our location. It's very nice. We're going to make sure everything is coming all right.
Sifuna umsebenzi asisebenzi nalento ye 35 years ukuthi thina esina 40 something asisakhona ukuthola umsebenzi leyo yiye esihlukumezayo la eSouth Africa because sisesenawo amandla okusebenza but asikhona ukusebenza.
Were you excited?
And just being able to see the extent of support that the ANC-led government has in terms of what it has done, what it is doing. The people are just overflowing with love, support, and appreciation. And
Chad's junta-appointed Prime Minister on Sunday said he would contest the May 6th presidential election 8 days after incumbent Mahamat Idris Deby Itno announced his candidacy. Former opposition leader Suksay Masra returned from exile and joined Deby Itno's team to become premier this year. The opposition says his candidacy is a ploy to give an appearance of pluralism in a vote the junta chief is certain to win. The Gabonese foreign minister announced that the country has been reinstated into the Economic Community of Central African States, that's ECOWAS, after it was suspended following the army coup that overthrew President Ali Bongo Ondimba on August 30th, 2023. The coup d'etat occurred in Gabon shortly after the announcement that incumbent President Ali Bongo Ondimba had won the general election held on 26th August. The coup brought an end to the 56-year-long rule of the Bongo family over Gabon. In world wrap, troops from NATO member countries are taking part in the large-scale exercise in snow-filled landscape of Arctic Scandinavia Nordic Response 2024. The Norwegian Armed Forces, with over 20,000 soldiers from 13 nations, including Norway, France, Finland, and the USA, and new NATO member Sweden, are participating in the exercise from 3rd to 14th March. Sweden has for years been a close partner of NATO and worked with its Nordic neighbors on defense. Election officials are counting ballots in Lisbon for the legislative elections, where after 8 years of socialist government, the center-right opposition is the favorite. Now, final opinion poll published on Friday put the center-right Democratic Alliance narrowly ahead of the Socialist Party, but short of an outright parliamentary majority, which could make the far-right Chega and kingmaker of the coalition government. Analysts warn that the result of the election, which Portugal's second in 2 years, remained wide open given the large number of undecided voters. Now let's join Business Desk for more news.
Welcome to Business News. As of March 7, 2024, Nigeria's external reserves have experienced a 2.83% year-to-date accretion, reaching $34.11 billion from $33.17 billion at the beginning of the year. The rise is attributed to inflows from foreign capital and remittances. The Central Bank of Nigeria's data indicates that the country's foreign currency reserves have been growing steadily, signifying economic stability and the ability to meet international obligations. The recent surge in diaspora remittances, increasing by 433% to $1.3 billion in February, has contributed to the rise in reserves, with total portfolio flows for 2024 reaching $2.3 billion. The surge in reserves supports the value of the domestic currency, and analysts expect the naira to trade within a similar band across forex segments in the coming weeks. Goldman Sachs, in a report titled Nigeria Turning the Corner, predicts the Nigerian naira to appreciate to 1,200 naira against the US dollar in the next 12 months. The forecast is based on factors such as positive real rates, capital inflows, and evidence of a shift to a more orthodox policy setup. The report acknowledges Nigeria's recent currency crisis, but notes that the country is now turning the corner, citing a period of monetary policy transition and the absence of a credible policy anchor. The Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to raise interest rates by 400 basis points to 22.75% is seen as a positive step, attracting investors to government debt instruments and increasing diaspora remittances to $1.3 billion in February. However, the report emphasizes the need for more follow-through to achieve durable macro stabilization and highlights the risk of authorities not fully implementing a shift to a more orthodox monetary setup. The Bank of Ghana has revealed that Ghanaian banks experienced a strong rebound in profitability in 2023, marking a recovery from the losses incurred due to the Domestic Debt Exchange Program (DDEP). The banking sector reported a profit of 8.3 billion Ghanaian cedis in 2023, compared to a loss of 6.6 billion Ghanaian cedis in December 2022. The growth in net interest income, lower impairments on financial assets, and capital raising initiatives encouraged by the Bank of
Now, in the world of sports, Oluwakbo Okpeori has won Nigeria's first gold medal at the ongoing 13th African Games in Ghana. The two-time African Games champion defeated his compatriot Godwin Olofua 2-1 in the final of the men's badminton singles. Nigeria looked poised for all medals in the men's singles badminton event as Olofua Okpeori made it all Nigerian affair in the men's final. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Victor Ikechukwu and Dorcas Adeshokan won bronze medal in the men's and women's singles, while Sofiat Obanishola and Dorcas won bronze medal in the women's doubles. The Nigeria men's doubles settled for silver medal at the ongoing 13th African Games in Ghana. Christiana Ogunsonya hopped on the Sunday gold medal rush for Nigeria, winning the women's 53-kilogram wrestling event. Now, it was a one-sided dominance as Ogunsonya defeated her Ivorian opponent, Bakayoko, by 11-0. Her compatriot Mercy Genesis showed her Egyptian opponent Nada Mohammed no mercy, controlling her fight from start to finish to win Nigeria's third gold medal for the day in the women's 50 kg freestyle event. Genesis was quite convincing, winning the bout 7-0. To cap the gold medal rush for Sunday, three-time Commonwealth champion Odunayo Adekuroye won Nigeria's fourth gold in the women's 57 kg event. Adekuroye defeated Zainab Hassan 6-0 by pinfall in the final of the women's event.
That's it, Nigeria, that's it. Yeah! That's right! Woo! That's right! Woo!
Coming here, I know I'm going to win the gold. I'm emotional because of my mom. And I was watching on the internet, I saw a lot of people posting their mom, wishing them Happy Mother's Day. That brought tears to my eyes because she's late. So this medal is for her. Mom, I know you are smiling in heaven. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Quite a touching tribute there. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of our top stories. We told you that five-story building collapses in Anambra traps a known number of persons. We also told you that Kano electricity transmission station razed by fire. Finally, you heard that Chad junta nominated PM to run for president. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Dashen, Usman.